Today's adventure, we are in downtown Maryville, Tennessee, as we continue on the Highway 411 trip. And hello my friends, Mr. Nomad Ben here. This is part 4 of many parts of the Grand Highway 411 series on my YouTube channel. So we're in downtown Maryville, a town outside of Knoxville. So since it's an old highway of 411, the 411 is kind of like an old Americana, full of abandoned buildings, interesting structures, cute shops, and a lot of rich history all through this, kind of like right off of the interstate. So I'm kind of like leveled in between I-75 or Interstate 40 as we speak right now, kind of like to parallel the two roads. So we're here in Maryville right now, outside of Knoxville. We're going to try to end the vlog into Sevierville, maybe make a vlog or two out there, because I only got so much time. So making a series of vlogs for my YouTube channel. So I thought we'd go here to downtown Maryville if there's anything interesting to see. But there's this beautiful church right behind me. So I'm going to go take a quick glimpse at this church and then move on and make our way to Sevierville. Inviting you to come with me. And here we go.
It's all about where you've been, Nomad Ben. Tell us all about the finer points of living in your traveling. Food, beer, history, nature quest. Every corner of this song to the great Midwest. Tell us all about where you've been, Nomad Ben.
So here we are, downtown Maryville. I don't have my microphone attachment on me right now, so it might be a little windy if the footage, but hopefully you guys can hear me well over this wind. Over here at New Providence Church, very beautiful structure of this church. I always appreciate good architecture and historical looking churches. Kind of looks like a little side house that belongs to the church. Love the tower, the bell tower on it. I would explore the church more, but church is currently in session and I'm actually filming on a Sunday, so I know I should be at my church worshiping, but again, I only got so much time making these adventures for you. But a very beautiful church, New Providence Church. It's a Presbyterian church. So, very classic, very traditional church. All right, let's make our way down into Maryville and beyond of Highway 411. Kind of the heart of downtown Maryville right over here. City of Maryville. Make our way over this way. Gonna check out what that statue's all about. Here's the Patriot Circle. All the people that contribute to this. And about the sculpture, in order to achieve an accurate depiction of Sam Housden as he would have looked during his time in Blount County, countless hours where he spent conducting research, consultation with historians for scenic artists and frontier artists allow the sculpture to attend every detail. Housden's description of himself was left to join the army was the basis of the design. You kind of pause if you want to read. If there's anything more you want to learn about the structure. The peace pipe tomahawk held by Housden merges the Indian's tomahawk with the European metal blade. And about the artist who created the sculpture, which we're going to take a look at in a second. Anything you want to read here, just pause if you want to read. And then there's the sculpture of Mr. Housden over here. The great state of Tennessee, the agriculture, commerce, 1796. I'm going to go pause if you want to read. I'm going to be right here for a few seconds. Anything you want to read about Housden's career and advancement leaving Maryville. And he was elected governor in 1827. source of greatest pride. And there he is, Mr. Housden himself. And I left my tripod in the car. Usually I try to get a picture of every statue. But I'll do a selfie. Housden was an avid reader, excelled at spelling, and enjoyed memorizing pages of classics such as Homer's The Iliad, using them in speeches throughout his life. He did not enjoy formal schooling. Like, I think most of us don't like formal schooling. He studied briefly with Dr. Isaac Anderson, who later founded Maryville College. Dr. Anderson referred to Housden as most provoking students. I often determined to lick him, but he would come up with such a pretty dish of excuses that I could not do it. I guess licking really meant like a spanking or a whooping, as you would say. I think people might take that the wrong way these days, but that's what it really meant back then. And during the War of 1812, Andrew Jackson recruited soldiers, imploring Tennesseans to fight the tyranny of Great Britain. Soldiers during the time were the first of Jackson's Tennessee Volunteers. With his mother's permission, Housden joined the U.S. Army in March of 1813. And his mother gave him a rifle and a ring with the word of honor engraved inside. Oh, that's a good gift to give to your son. And then the Frontier's Edge, little history about Housden. Sam Housden was born March 2nd, 1793. Revolutionary War veteran to his parents, Sam Housden and Elizabeth Paxton. In 1807, then a widow, his mother moved Housden and his 8 siblings by a wagon to a farm on the headwaters of Baker Creek in Blount County. That's really cool. Anything else you want to read about Mr. Housden? Pause if you want to read. Anywhere I go. And of course, you see a lot of parts in the South. You see a lot of these placards all over the place. Not so much as I see up north. I don't really see anything like this when I was living up north or any other parts of the United States. I think Florida's got things like this, but not so much of Illinois or Oklahoma. But pause if you want to read about Pride Mansion of Dr. Samuel Pride of the Masonic Lodge. And then there's some more stuff over here. The relief of Knoxville. We'll make our way over here. Pause if you want to read. And here's another placard about Montvale Springs. And there's another church over here, the St. Paul Zion Church. And look at the steeple right here. If you can see any closer, there's some praying hands up there. With the little praying hands, a little shout out to my alma mater, Oral Roberts University, class of 2012, where I graduated college. And the closest thing to Oral Roberts University around here is Lee University in Cleveland, Tennessee. But one of these days, we'll definitely do like a little campus walk at Lee in Cleveland, but definitely on my bucket list to take you guys back to ORU, where my alma mater was, where I graduated. But this is downtown Maryville, friends. Very beautiful. So we're a couple towns away to Sevierville. But I only got 60% left in my battery, and this is the only really camera I brought. Of course, I had my cell phone. I like to avoid to record vlogs on my cell phone So we might just go ahead and bypass the town of Seymour. I didn't really see anything. I really would like to vlog in that town. But if I see something that's worth at least looking into, I'll pull out the camera. But we're going to let the camera rest for a little bit and make our way to Sevierville, so we can maybe cover some more ground over there, because that's more interesting, in my opinion, plus some Dolly Parton history. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be interested in seeing. So, all right, let's keep going. So it's kind of bypassing Seymour, Tennessee, because I looked into the town and it seems like Seymour, Tennessee is just full of recreation, really, in a little small town, but nothing that I really would like to check out. So I'm going to be taking 321 to Sevierville, because that'd still be part of 411 anyway, because Sevierville's in downtown. So I looked at this. So I looked into Seymour. So I was driving a little bit in Maryville and looked into Seymour. So before I looked into Seymour, Tennessee, to see if there's anything worth my time or anything I'm interested in checking out, and it just seems like it more focuses on recreation and hiking and golfing around that part of town. So I'm going to be taking Lamar Alexander Parkway to Sevierville, so it's not technically 411, but it parallels with it. But Sevierville, the downtown, goes right through 411 anyway, so we'll still be able to keep it the way it is. But considering that we are right off of 411, I had to check this out as I was driving by. Right off of High Street and Court Street over here, there is a mural of the Justice League. We'll get a good look at this over here. So we got Superman holding the American flag, with Wonder Woman and Batman, Robin, and then there's the original Flash. I forget this guy's name. His name is Jay, not Tampa Jay. Jay Garrick, that's right. Jay Garrick is the original speedster of the Flash, and his costume kind of consisted of a silver helmet instead of the red suit. And then there's Black Canary. There's Green Arrow, and I actually don't know who this guy is. He looks familiar. And this is Plastic Man, not Mr. Fantastic, although they do have similar characteristics, except he's a criminal mastermind turned good, or more of an anti-hero, but he teams with the Justice League quite a lot. Don't know who that guy is. And there is Dr. Fate. I don't know who that might be the Green Hornet. And this might be a female version of the original Captain Marvel. I could be completely wrong about that one. I'll try to get this is on the public road, so I better get off the road here real quickly as I'm documenting this. But let's make our way back to Wonder Woman over here. Here is the male Captain Marvel, Billy Batson, and this might be Obsidian, if I'm not wrong or if I'm right. And I have no idea who these folks are. And then here is the original Green Lantern. And I don't know who that is. Pale Man? I don't know who that guy is. And there's Hawkman. And there is Hawk Girl right over here. It looks like they're going to add more room for future heroes. I'm hearing a bell go off. It's 11 o'clock. And I have till about 2 o'clock to film my adventures for today as I split these up. It's always a bell tower and a clock tower. I keep running into these small towns. Well, let's make our way over here and take a look at the veterans over here, the veteran plaques. Well, before we make our way over there, I didn't realize all this belonged to a comic book shop right here, the Golden Age. The the high courts of comics and games. Well, very cool. And it said, will heroes be... Oh, wow, that actually kind of hits home here. So we got the veterans over here, but then you got a actual painting of a veteran. Will heroes be remembered? So will we remember people like this who fought and died for our country? But he's reading a bunch of Superman. I think that might be Spider-Man. But we'll remember those heroes. But will we remember these as heroes of our time, you know? Real people that did real things to protect America and protect our freedoms. And it looks like this is an old mailbox turned into U.S. flag retirement box. So not for U.S. mail. And then, of course, here is the actual mailbox. But look at here, folks. This is the veteran... Okay, so this is the veteran / courthouse. Veterans Congressman. And this is the Blount County Courthouse. The Battle of the Bulge, World War II veterans of Blount County. Pause if you want to read and take time to remember these men and women that put their lives on the line for our freedoms. What's on this other side here? Dedicated to the memory of those from Blount County and the surrounding counties who served in defense of freedom during the World War II. Battle of the Bulge. Battle of the Bulge was the largest battle fought in by the United States against Germany. 600,000 Americans clashed with 500,000 Germans. This was the dedicating factor in ending World War II as soon as May 8th, 1945. 81,000 American casualties, 19,000 killed, 100,000 Germans killed or wounded, and then the mission accomplished. So I guess they have all in alphabetical order here or something. Sponsored by the United Veterans of Blount County, Ernest C. Talon, Commander. In memory of the soldiers of the American Revolution that settled out here. It's amazing that they still kept the names of these men and women that were all part of this. There's the bricks where I'm standing on too, has some names as well. The Revolutionary War Patriots. This marker commemorates the men and women who achieved American independence. These patriots, believing in the noble causes of liberty, fought valiant to found a new nation. 1775 to 1783. And at least we forget this monument dedicated to all those gallant heroes of Blount County, living and dead, who have fought in all the wars to preserve the American way of life. War of 1812, all these wars, all part of Blount County. Civil War, Spanish American, World War I, World War II, the Korean War, Vietnam, Persian Gulf War, and the most recent one that has either not been filled out or it's still going on, the War on Terror. Of course, there's General Sam Housden, as we learned some history about him earlier. There's the statue of the veterans that represent all the wars. I'm back on Highway 411. I just took a little bit of a shortcut in a different route so I can get to Sevierville a little quicker. So I am in Sevier County right now, making my way to downtown Sevierville this direction, over by the Smoky's Tire Shop right over here. But I want to check out this stuff here. They got a buffalo right here, alongside with the bear, and a Sasquatch, or Bigfoot, and a moose, and a ram. They got the Shoney's Big Boy right over here. That is really cool. I haven't seen one of these in a long, long time. They got a bear over here. An elephant behind this post. They got a green dinosaur. Got some more things over on this side. Got a wood carving of a lion and a horse. Is this the pale horse? I'm just kidding. I know that's not the pale horse from the Greenback Castle, but it's definitely pale enough. And we got a Native American chief. And then there's a race car right over here, my coffee shop and grill. You guys can see the race car over there. And then the gateway to the Smokies this direction through Sevierville. Really great looking billboard of the Axolotl. Well, whatever that creature is. It's a cute little creature. Anyway, let's keep going. Oh my, that's one big rooster. And here we are, my friends. The heart of downtown Sevierville, Tennessee, right off of Highway 411. Very, very nice little small town. Right across from me is the Central Hotel, a historic hotel. There's a nice little fountain across the street there. I want to check it out in a second. We're kind of going to end the vlog here. Just going to explore the town for a minute. Here's a list of mayors throughout the town of Sevierville. A lot of leadership over the years, but looks like it has not been updated since 1987 or 86. We got placards of William M. Whaley. I want to leave like 5 seconds per area if you guys want to pause and want to read about this history about these folks. I think there's more on the other side, so we'll make our way over there. I mean, not much is in the downtown except for maybe some boutique shops and little coffee shops, but there's a nice little public square we'll take a look at because there is a pretty familiar face. I mean that in two ways, like pretty familiar and also pretty familiar. We'll make our way over there in a minute. So this is actually duplicates of the other side, but there's other parts of the placards here. And over here, that beyond the sign here is the public square. We'll make our way to the hotel, like I said, in a minute. A little history on Sevierville. Sevierville settled about 1783. This town, first called Forks of Little Pigeon, was organized as a county seat of Sevier County, 1795. Indian trader Isaac Thomas, home of the first courthouse, fort, and tavern. Jas McMahon gave 25-acre tract for the town, which was later named after John Sevier, first governor of the state. And then here's some history here. About the Civil War, Colonel William H. Thomas, CSA, during a Civil War skirmish. I pause if you want to read, but I'll read a little bit of it. When the Civil War erupted, William Holland Thomas rallied companies of men to fight with him in the Confederate Army, Thomas was adopted into the Cherokee tribe by the Native Americans, Chief Gushka. Thomas was later appointed chief of the Quallatown Cherokee when the great chief died. Wow, okay. Thomas had no trouble soliciting both white and Cherokee tribes to join him in the Confederate Army. He was appointed colonel of the 69th North Carolina Regiment, known as Thomas Legion. Wow, that's very interesting history. Wow, that's really cool. And like I said earlier, seems like whatever town I approach, I see a good bell tower or a clock tower or a hybrid. Clearly you can see both bell and clock together with a little gold dome on top. And here's the historic Central Hotel, established in 1890. Wow, that hotel's been around for quite some time. Now might be an adventure to stay at if I have the time and money, who knows. Perhaps another time, like I always say. Well, here's the history of the hotel right here. In 1890, the original Central Hotel opened. It remained in business until it was destroyed by a fire in 1923. The new Central Hotel replaced structure was built off brick. There's the original brick on this side of the building. I'll pause if you want to read. There's more information of the hotel. All that. The hotel had no running water and rooms. The hotel had no running water and rooms were heated by a coal burning grate. In 1923, a fire engulfed the Central Hotel. The owner decided to erect a modern brick replacement hotel in the same location. And built by a local black contractors in 1924, the replacement building was erected. And in 1948, the first long-distance call was placed here by Mayor Robert Howard from the hotel. Very cool. And they got themselves a little coffee shop here, open daily from 7 to 2 p.m. There's a little history of the bench memorial right here. And then there's the public square. But I also wanted to look at the fountain real quickly before we make our way over there. The public square over there. Kind of take a look at this fountain. The Severe Public Square. Beautiful looking fountain. The flagpoles. Man, this is just really cool hotel history. One kind of thing about me is I like hotel history. I like grocery store history too. Man, that is really cool. But kind of look at here, like Junction, Tennessee 66. Well, let's talk about this for a second. Alright, so let's talk about Tennessee 66 versus Route 66 for a minute. Mind you that this is not part of historic Route 66. Historic Route 66 starts in downtown Chicago and makes your way to Santa Monica, California. And this is not part of it. I was looking up what's the difference between the two, which I do know what the difference is, but perhaps a little more of an education purpose. But the Tennessee 66 is a state-maintained road within Tennessee, which includes Woodfield Dunn Parkway and a 6-lane divided highway. It has been the subject of winding projects, expanding it from 4 lanes to 6 lanes. It connects to various towns in eastern Tennessee, including here in Sevierville. But while Route 66 connects all the way from the state of Illinois to California, all going to the west through various states. But it is my goal to travel Route 66 sometime in my life And I grew up in near Route 66 areas, and I know I made some shorts nearby about parts of Route, which is the downtown Joliet of Route 66, where I found the first Dairy Queen. But also, when I lived in Oklahoma for a little bit, I also didn't realize how close I was, or really on Route 66 I was on. And you're really going traveling from Oklahoma to Illinois and back. You really are traveling historic Route 66 most of the time, except everything's been replaced by the interstates, you know? All right, enough about this kind of history lesson. Let's go on to downtown. Gonna make our way into the public square in downtown Sevierville here. And I'm trying to limit my sugar. And I see things like this: red soda fountain and ice cream, established in 1946. And of course they are closed on a Sunday. But let's kind of take a peek inside. If there's anything like an old-timey shop. Well, it looks more renovated than a throwback kind of place in there. But they do have a jukebox, if you can see it. So that's a little throwback for sure. Again, we'll cross this placard here about Sevierville. I'll pause if you want to read the little parts of it, but we kind of look at the big portion here. The baptism of Please Win, taken just hours before he made my way across the street from Reds and made my way over to this law firm area. Came across a placard. Pause if you want to read some more history in Sevierville. Looks like it's more about the police. And also interesting history. Gallows were still being used at a certain time here. The gallows behind the courthouse where Please Win and Cattell Tipton were hanged in 1899. So I guess those were criminals of some sort. Of course, I'm pretty sure we'll find it all here if you want to pause, if you want to read. But interesting enough, hanging was still a thing even back then. I think hanging is still not as common as it is anymore, but I think people still get hanged. And here is an up close and personal look of the Bell Clock Tower. I believe this is the courthouse over here. But beyond the tree is the pretty familiar face where we're going to be heading to next in a little bit. I want to cover ground on those plaques on this side of the street, then we'll make our way around and make our way over there. But let's go take a look at this plaque over here since I'm on this side of the street. And a little history of Isaac Dockery, 1832 to 1910. A native of Sevier County, Isaac Dockery, an African-American brickmaker and mason, established brick near Sevierville. After the Civil War, he bought or made bricks for many buildings in Sevierville, including the Mosaic Lodge, New Salem Baptist Church, and Sevier County Courthouse, which will be right over here. A talented master builder, he taught several generations of local brick masonry. Wow, that is really cool. Here's some more history of Sevierville here. Pause if you want to read. And the Garden of Flora Talk. Never heard of that store before. And look, folks, there's always a guardian angel looking over your shoulder. And here's another boutique shop, a Southern Fried Raya Studio. And this is actually a Victoria Mall. Well, check this out. A lot of shops are closed. I am filming on a Sunday. Well, this is something to appreciate for sure. P.O. boxes for the businesses. I hear the bells going off. I believe it is 12:30. That's right. Very cool. You guys want to get some business here in Sevierville? Call these folks up. You never thought that a little public square downtown had so much history all through this. And right in here is just little places to eat. We're not going to get lunch in this particular spot, but definitely something to look to if you're ever here. Over here is not really food per se, but the Old Smoky Mountain Tennessee moonshine. I know they make it's kind of mass produced, so I believe I tried it a long time ago. It's been a good minute since I tried the Old Smoky Mountain moonshine. And just right down this street over here is the Pines, and I believe it is a bowling alley of sorts. It's for duck pin bowling. And if you guys don't know what duck pin bowling is, it's a bowling, but it's smaller pins, and I believe you get 3 tries instead of 2 tries on a frame. Gray's Burgers and Pancakes over here. And we got scratch-made stone-fried pizza over here. It smells really good. And they offer some Buffalo Trace Distillery over here. Scratch-made pizza and pasta, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m.-ish. And here is an American Eagle bronze statue. Part of the Department of the Navy, United States of America, and United States Marine Corps. A little history of the statue over here. Dedicated to the Sevier County veterans, past, present, and the future. November 11th, 1995. In recognition of the Merchant Marines and other groups who are combat service in war. So, all I gotta say is, America. Oh yeah. Nice looking sheriff's office over there, especially with the little badge of honor. It's the Sheriff, Sevier County. Another monument on the other side of the courthouse. This monument is dedicated to all law enforcement officers, past, present, and future, who have sworn to serve and protect, and to those officers who gave their lives the line of duty. Fraternal Order of Police. Well, now that I've made my way around the courthouse, we're going to make one little stop here to end the vlog. And friends, we're going to end our vlog in front of the Dolly Parton statue. But believe it or not, I've been here with my family before I vlogged this place, and people love getting their picture with Dolly, and believe there's a line of people actually waiting to get their picture taken. So I'm going to respect their time and wait to get my little picture taken and show off the statue. But here's some history of Dolly Parton. You guys could read it or not. It's kind of a weird kind of design on the sign, but feel free to read all about her. But everyone knows she's a household name. She's a very beautiful woman inside and out. Great person. Like, talk about a star that has a great heart. It's Dolly Parton. And rest in peace to her husband that passed away recently, Carl Thomas Dean. As a matter of fact, not far where I live in Dalton, Georgia, Dolly Parton got married in the town of Ringgold, which we'll definitely show off one of these days, a little Ringgold exploration video. But we'll definitely show off the chapel where she and Carl got married. And here she is, my friends, Dolly Parton. Born here and basically raised here. I know she spends a lot of her time out here in Sevier County, Pigeon Forge area, but she's a national icon. Very, very, very beautiful woman. Like I said, inside and out. Talented musician. So, here's a little stuff about her. Dolly. The statue of Dolly Parton was erected through the generosity of the people of Sevier County, dedicated of May 1987. America's sweetheart, Dolly Parton, everybody. I realized I forgot to get my picture with Sam Housden. in downtown Maryville, but at least here in downtown Sevierville, I could get my picture with none other than Dolly Parton. And that's going to do it for today's adventure here in Sevierville, completing the fourth part of many parts of my Grand Highway 411 adventure. So this has been a great adventure so far. It's been a fun thing to film for everybody here. And we got many more adventures to come. We got a little bit of Tennessee left to finish up, so we're going to stay here around the Sevierville, maybe do one thing in Pigeon Forge for a filler vlog, and then perhaps if I maybe have one more to film here if I have time. I only got about 90 minutes to 2 hours before I have to head home, so probably just one more vlog left to film here to fill up. But if I'm busy again, I'll probably do something that's probably locally around the area to fill up, and then we could definitely complete Tennessee. We'll make it from the Severe area to Newport, but I want to make it to the Bush's Baked Beans Museum in Danridge, so we got maybe less than 1 or 2 more parts to complete after the filler vlogs. But friends, I hope you guys have been enjoying this particular adventure. Downtown Sevierville, everybody, just a lot of history, a lot of awesomeness around here. I'll see you guys in the next one. As I always say, friends, eat well and keep your mind walking. See you guys next week. We're going to grab some lunch at an establishment I've been wanting to eat at for quite some time.